and it's going to create social media content for you that consumers can relate to. It's going to take that data. They don't care that the house has been on the market for 60 days and that's the average. It's going to explain why it's the average. And it's going to explain how the market conditions are. It's going to use local information backed by statistical information and make you look like the expert.
Hi there, welcome to Real Life in Real Estate. I'm Mark Peebles, here to help you live your best life and achieve ultimate success. And I've got my buddy back with me, Adam Martin. Welcome back to the show. How you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of you lately. There's so much to talk about. And I mean, Adam is always one of the guys in the business that I'm like, I should talk to Adam about this. So, we had a good conversation about, preview or pre-marketing listings recently. So today, here's what we're talking about, because this is one of the things that I lean on Adam for, is he's always playing with AI, right? And all of us should be playing with the AI, making our lives and our business better with AI. But today I wanted to talk to you, Adam, about the 5 prompts that every agent should be using in their business right now. And because I know that you are using AI a ton. So I want to work backwards. I want to start at number 5, work down to the most important thing that we should be using AI for in our business. So are you ready for this?
Sure.
Okay, let's start at number 5. Number 5, most important prompt that agents should be using in their business right now.
Well, I think number 5, we're going to have to start at the very beginning, which is knowing who you are and who you serve. Because we can't use AI for anything else if we don't know who we are and what we're trying to achieve, who we're meant to serve. So I have a prompt that I call like the Identity Excavation. This prompt that's going to help you identify who you are, what your values are, and also what would happen to the market if you didn't exist anymore. And it's going to go through a series of interview style questions, and I'll prepare you. It will take you multiple hours to achieve this.
So here's the funny thing, Adam. I actually, last time, 2 times ago when you were on the show, you challenged me to do this. You sent me the prompt. I loaded it into ChatGPT. And while I was driving one day, I had several hours of driving. I went through this. It took me a while to get through, but it was an awesome experience. So
yeah. And this is an updated version of that. This one I've cleaned up a little bit. I made it a little bit more geared towards real estate agents. The thing that I enjoy the most as far as the reaction from people is they tell me it was really mean to me. And because there's a part of the prompt that wants you to be a little confrontational. It's going to give you pushback. When you say, oh, I value integrity and honesty, it's going to say bullshit. No, you don't. Give me a real answer, and it's going to push back for real answers. It's also going to help you identify, not necessarily, a lot of the prompts are identifying your perfect client. It works backward. It's going to identify the client you should not work with first.
Okay, good.
Because that's a lot easier for people to explain who they don't want to work with and who they do want to work with. So it works a little bit backwards to help you identify that perfect person. Okay, so at the end of this prompt, go ahead.
We are going to put these prompts into the show notes. You're going to let us use these prompts,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
yeah,
awesome.
For sure.
All right, so just as we move through, I just want to move on to the number 4, because I'm sure we could talk for hours on this stuff. Number 4, though, most important prompt agents should be using in their business right now.
So the next one, once you kind of know who you are, you get to know who else is in your market. So I like to do the who's the best agent prompt. This prompt is designed to act as a consumer that's using AI, a consumer that's looking to buy or sell real estate, using AI to find out who the best real estate agent is in that market. So the prompt is very, very simple, where it's asking AI to identify the best agent in their market and why they're the best agent in the market. The why part is important. And this is important for real estate agents, one, to see what their competition is. but two, to also identify how AI is finding that information, because it's going to give you all their sources, right?
Oh, that's
it's
good.
going to tell you that it found all the sources from Fast Experts, from Zillow, from Realtor.com. And what surprises most agents is where that information is being found. Because if you're on ChatGPT, for instance, Google reviews are never going to be a source because
Really?
it does not index Google. You know, ChatGPT
Interesting.
does not index Google, it indexes Bing. So ChatGPT and Google are not connected. You know,
Wow,
so
that's
your Google
interesting. I had
review,
no idea. I'm learning
yeah,
all kinds of stuff here.
yeah, your Google review will never show up on ChatGPT. Also, Google reviews are not a website. So AI can't search it anyway. Google reviews are on a map service. You know, it's Google Maps. So that's one of those things that people are like, I have 500 Google reviews. That's fantastic, Susan. It's not going to help you. You know,
Wow.
What's going to be the big thing? HomeLight. HomeLight is a huge resource that ChatGPT looks at. Most agents have no idea what HomeLight is.
Yeah. It's a referral service, isn't it?
Yeah, but you don't even have to sign up for the referral service. You can just have a profile.
Wow.
So when you start to see where all this information is coming from, if you as an agent don't have profiles on all of those sources, you're missing the mark when it comes to AI search.
That's awesome.
And
okay. My mind is blown right there. My mind is blown.
That's the easiest of the prompts too.
Okay,
you know,
well then let's move to the next one. We are rapid firing this today, okay?
Yeah. This one is perfect for any brand new agent or any agent that's getting ready to go to a listing appointment. And I call it the role-playing prompt. This is a simple prompt that you're going to train AI to role play with you. They're going to act as a seller. You're going to act as an agent. And you're basically going to have this role play of a listing appointment.
And I'm talking to AI?
Yep, you're talking. Okay. You're using the speech-enabled portion of AI. And you can do this on any platform. I love doing this in the car on the way to the listing because Grok is enabled in my car, so I can have a conversation with Grok. And I'll put Grok on unhinged mode, so it really starts yelling at me. But you can tell this prompt, there's a part where you can change it, like, you know, the seller is a doctor, the seller's an engineer, the sellers are getting divorced. You know, so you're playing a scenario that you already know in advance. I think that one's huge. I love doing this at office meetings. I had one agent last time we did this who ended up walking out because he was so frustrated that he did not get the listing from the AI. You know, that's awesome. You know, and this prompt is not even necessarily new. This prompt was actually Tom Ferry did it during COVID. Wow. And then Tom Ferry did it again when we had buyer agencies agreements. And we had to start doing buyer agency agreements, how to talk to people about those buyer agency agreements. Wow. So this role-playing prompt has been out for a while, just kind of tweaked it a little bit, but that is definitely a huge, huge one.
Okay, reminder, all of these are going to go in the show notes. Adam is going to make sure that we have all of these for you. But now, Adam, number 2, most important prompt that every agent should be using in their business.
Yep, and I'm going to call this one the neighborhood listing prompt. This is that prompt for your listing description, probably the number one thing real estate agents use AI for, and it screws it up terribly. This prompt is designed to act as a lifestyle writer for a magazine. And what you're going to do is you're going to actually give this prompt MLS data. So, you know, all the data for your listing that you're going to end up putting in. You're also going to give it some headlines of what's going on in your town, in this neighborhood that you're listing. And it's going to use a combination of local current headlines plus MLS data, and it's going to craft a listing description that is going to be optimized for AI search engines. So it's going to identify who the ideal buyer for this property is. It's going to identify what is around in the neighborhood using maps and Google reviews, restaurants, things like that. And it's going to craft a listing description that is going to be lifestyle first. Wow. So it's going to talk about how you're going to have Sunday morning coffee sitting on the back porch, how you're going to walk to the local restaurant. It's going to talk about things like that before it ever mentions 3 bedrooms, 2 baths.
Yep. So it's about the lifestyle.
Right. It's all lifestyle first, because as we know, when people start engaging in AI to find homes, be it ChatGPT, Gemini, or now Homes.com's AI, they're not saying, I want a 3-bedroom house in what city. They're saying, I need a house with a fenced-in backyard that I can walk to my kids' school. It has to be a really nice, safe neighborhood, fair housing compliant in there. The prompt actually does say on the very last line to be fair housing compliant. So, your bases are checked in there. But that's how people are going to search. So you have to start writing your listing descriptions differently. Same when you're posting on social media. That social media should be listed. Those descriptions should be different as well, because as we know, Meta is now integrated into ChatGPT, and Instagram can now be indexed. So
so
that's huge.
This is great, and we are all the way down to the number one prompt that agents should be using in their business. What is it?
Well, this one's going to come into social media, because I feel like social media is one of the things that agents use a ton for AI, and we see the most AI slop getting thrown around, or AI stuff that just makes no sense. So if you're an agent and you're going to use social or AI for social media, this is what I'm going to say is the market data social media prompt. Because everybody always says, every brokerage, if you're going to post anything on social media, post the market data, how your market's doing. I see this all the time. They're the worst posts I've ever seen. They're incredibly boring and nobody cares.
Right.
This prompt is designed for you to take that MLS data, that market data, put it into this prompt, and it will find the hidden narratives behind that data. It's going to use local information about what's going on in your town, plus the MLS data, and it's going to create social media content for you that consumers can relate to. It's going to take that data. They don't care that the house has been on the market for 60 days and that's the average. It's going to explain why it's the average. And it's going to explain how the market conditions are. It's going to use local information backed by statistical information and make you look like the expert, because you're explaining what that market data means and not just posting, a snapshot of all the market statistics for that week.
And so then I'm taking this data and I'm recording videos with it?
Yeah. Yep. So this prompt is set up to make a 30-second script at the end so that you can film right on your cell phone a face forward video. But you can use this same script after that 60 seconds script is made. You can then prompt it to say, hey, write a blog for me as well. Write a social media post for me as well. You can continue it on. But this one's designed for a 60-second video.
Man, for the past few minutes of rapid fire, now I have assignments. I'm going to have to go and actually sit down and start putting in some prompts. But before we go today, and this is probably a little bit of an abbreviated episode, real quick for our audience, what platforms are we using to plug these prompts into? What are your favorite platforms right now? I know there's so many new ones we're hearing about, but what are the ones that they should be using?
So right now, I would say, especially for agents that are new to AI or need something that's very consumer friendly, Gemini would be my number one suggestion there. Gemini can also do a lot of video and image creation for you if you wanted to go that route as well. If you're a little bit more experienced and you want the GOAT, I would say Claude is where it's at, and I would focus a lot of my energy on Claude.
I just signed up for Claude, and the way that it prompts you back, like you put your prompt in, but then it starts asking questions. And I find that the questions in Claude really bring focus. I've been using it for a lot of, I speak publicly a lot, and I've been using it to walk through like how I tighten things up. And the questions it asks are so good. Now you did leave one out that, what's it? Chat. No, but why not chat?
Chat's really what started everything. I love ChatGPT. That's where everybody pretty much started. It's starting to fall behind.
Yeah.
It's starting to not be as innovated and not being as proficient as some of the other ones. It tends to make a lot more mistakes, and it tends to also still sound like AI. Whereas Gemini and Claude, can really start to sound more authentically to you, especially when they're programmed in that way. GPT, I feel like, is starting to just get very stale. So I'm actually in the process of indexing everything from ChatGPT to put into Claude, so it has some of those past searches. What I've been using Claude for a lot lately is actually just engineering prompts. So when I tell it, hey, this is what I want to do, this is kind of the output I want, and have it ask me those questions so it can really make a robust prompt, that's been helping a lot. But then I've been taking those prompts and actually putting them into Gemini, because Gemini's writing style is a little bit better than Claude's. So Gemini's a little bit more creative.
Again, every time I talk to Adam, I'm always like, oh, why didn't I think of that? But no, I love the way you think, Adam, and I love the way that you're using AI in your business. I think it's so valuable to our audience, and we talk AI quite a bit on here. I'm not the expert, but that's why I've got Adam, my buddy.
And I'm not the expert either. I still get my mind blown every week when I have calls about AI. So, right now it's a bunch of notebook LM learning that I'm doing. So
that's amazing.
That's still new to me. So,
well, Adam, I'm so thankful that you took the time to do this today because, again, we're going to have assignments. And I repeat, we will put all of these prompts into the show notes for you so that you can pull these prompts, plug them into Claude or Gemini or ChatGPT if you're still using that, whatever you're using. There will be a ton of value in this for you. But Adam, thank you so much.
Yeah,
for being with
thanks
us
for having me.
And I look forward to seeing you again in the future.
Absolutely.
And for our audience out there, I'm so grateful to have you here. Hey, remember, wherever you get your podcast, you can find this. So make sure you subscribe or follow the podcast wherever you're listening, or go on to our YouTube at It's Mark Peebles, on YouTube. And we have like over 200 videos on there now, past episodes, all kinds of great content for you on there. We'd love to have you jump on and subscribe. That just helps us out when you subscribe. So please jump on there, do that, and I'll keep pumping out the value to you with great guests like Adam. And I will see you next week. Bye now.